because this is something which is the most requested concept by most of my learners, and most of them find it little confusing. It's not very difficult to understand this, but it's a pretty confusing sometimes. Okay, how do you find writer's effect? Have you done that before?
Yeah, I have recently studied it.
Huh?
Confusing
A
actually.
little confusing, yeah.
Yeah.
So we are going to get in I think I had uploaded a lesson on writer's effects as well, if I'm not wrong. No, I haven't. All right. So you will be getting it soon. So what are we going to do in today's session? First thing is to be able to identify powerful words and images chosen by writer. That is our first learning objective. Second learning objective is to be able to analyze the effect of the words and images chosen by a writer. And the third is to be able to structure a response to the writer's effect question. Okay, these are the three learning objectives. We will try to cater all of them today, but how much ever we can maximum. At least I am targeting to finish first and second in today's class. Okay, all right, are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, whenever a writer writes a text, whatever words or the language chosen by writer is basically, you will be, if you are able to master the art of writer understanding writer's effect, you can basically see through the writer's soul through his or her writing. Because every person, if I ask you to write a specific article on a particular topic, you, Asher, me, other students, all of us will write different articles. I'm considering that each one of us is going to follow the right vocab and grammar, but the way we present it is going to be different, isn't it? Yes or no? Yeah. So, here, whenever you are addressing writer's effect, your job is to show awareness and appreciation of how writers achieve these effects. What effects? That what is a character? They are trying to describe more about character, atmosphere, tone, setting, etc. These effects are not accidental. Writers deliberately set out to achieve certain effects, and that's what you need to present, your awareness and appreciation of what exactly the writer is trying to present. Now, one of the aspect of writer's effect is imagery. Okay, imagery means it refers to any word or phrases or sensory images that allows us to visualize certain scene in our mind. Can you think of any imagery word or a phrase? He was as strong as a tiger. We are able to visualize a man who has a very good build and very strong and fierce, isn't it? So that is what we understand in that is one of the basic concept. I'm not getting a very good response. Please unmute yourself, both of you, Asher and Mahika. Okay, please keep yourself unmuted. I want you guys to be involved in whatever I'm discussing. So basically, metaphors, similes, personification, onomatopoeia, all these are the type of imagery. Okay. So okay, let's go a little fast over here. So all light fixtures precariously hung from the ceiling. What do you mean by the word precariously? Very loosely. It's not tight. The fixtures are not secured properly. They might fall down. So here the imagery of something which is hung loosely is there in your head, isn't it? Yes
Yeah.
or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do a small task. Before we begin looking explicitly at writer's effect question, let's practice identifying powerful words images from a range of sentences and making at least one analytical comment. Okay, so I've listed few examples over here. Sarah clung onto her exam paper as a single tear fell down her cheek. The writer's use of verb clung creates an image of. This is exactly how you should be answering this question. Always start with this. Pick a word. Of course, I'll be uploading a lesson in detail about what are the steps you'll be following, but let me brief you about it here as well. The writer use of the verb clung creates an imagery of the character feeling a sense of despair. So she's not happy, might be the paper, she was not able to solve the paper well, whatever it is. Perhaps she's feeling disappointed over receiving her results. Okay, okay, now the second one. Mr. Roger launched himself towards the complaints department. Okay, Asher and Mahika, can you try writing in the comments here what comes to your mind if you have to answer this? First of all, identify the word that is creating that effect.
Comment means chat, right?
Sorry, yeah, chat.
Okay.
What word do
One
you
second.
think is creating that effect?
Launched himself.
Launched, very good. Launched himself. What is the effect created by this word?
He is like running towards the
He is
complaints
furious.
department.
He is furious
Yeah.
and he's just rushing towards the complaints department. He might be he's not happy with some service or some product, whatever, but he's extremely furious and he's rushing himself towards the complaints department. So first, what did we do, Mahika? What was the first step?
First, we find out what the word was, and then
Identify the
that.
word
Yeah.
that is creating that effect. Second, Asha, what did we do?
Then we have to see the word and see the rest of the
Very
sentence, and
good.
then
Connect the word to the sentence. I picked the word launched and then I connected it to the sentence. Mr. Roger launched himself towards the complaint department. Launched. Why did he launch himself? Why is the writer using that word launched? Because might be he is angry, he's furious, or he is just, of course he's furious and he is rushing towards the complaints department. He can't wait anymore. So connect the word to the sentence. That is step number 2. Step number 3. Describe words separately and then its relation to the sentence. Clear?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Please jot these 3 steps in your book and then I would want both of you to answer the first one. I want you to write as if you're going to write in your exam. How are you going to describe the effect created by the writer? Of course, the powerful word over here is launched. Just give me a second.
And what is the last point? Describe word
Describe
and
the word
motion.
separately, then its relation to the sentence. Separately, then comma, then its relation to the sentence.
I wrote all of this.
Mahika,
I wrote it.
okay. So I want you to answer this here in the chat, both of you. You type it and keep. The moment I say go, then you will hit enter.
So we just need to identify how the
No,
writer
no,
is
you
using.
have to show, you have to describe the writer, the effect that writer is trying to create through the, in this statement, in this sentence. लगाई थी बहुत बेकार उल्टी जैसा हो रहा है अब खींचो ना दरवाजा let me know once you guys are done and then you'll hit enter at the same time, both of you.
I wrote. Hello.
Done? Okay, what about you, Mahika? Let me know once you're done.
Like after all of them, I'm still in the fourth one.
Sorry?
I'm still in the fourth one.
No, you have to do the only the second one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you both are done, just hit on enter.
Now,
Yes, you can. Go ahead. Okay. So let me go order wise. Let's start with Mahika. Launched himself. It describes how the teacher was furious. No. Plucked. First of all, you don't. I gave you 3 steps. Have you followed those 3 steps, Mahika?
No, I just had to describe it more.
No, you have to describe a lot. You'll straight away get a 0 if you write this way.
Okay.
Step number 1, identify the word. Launched himself. Connect the word to the sentence. Okay, let's see, read Asher's. The writer is trying to show that Mr. Roger is very angry by using the word launched. You could have added that, Asher. Is very angry about something and is hurrying up to complaints department. Excellent. Did you get it, Mahika, how to do it?
Yeah.
The writer, so he started with the writer is, of course, he should be adding the word launched. The writer is trying to show using the word launched or using the powerful word launched that Mr. Rogers is very angry about something. Where did you get to know he's a teacher? You, nowhere it is mentioned he's a teacher. It just said Mr. Roger
Right.
himself launched himself to the complaints department. Okay, angry about something and is hurrying to the complaints department. Follow these three. He identified the word, but he has not written the word. Connected the word to the sentence. He's angry about something, and then he's hurrying to something. To the complaints department. All right. Let's start with the second one. Both of you. I was plucked from my perfect school and dumped into the unknown. Now, here, only identify the powerful words or images used. Mahika.
I say it.
Only
Wait,
identify the
can there
word.
be more than one now?
Yes, of course, you can have more than one.
So I think it's I was plucked and the other one is dumped into the unknown.
Very good.
Plucked, I think it implies how um whoever that was, probably a student, was taken out from that perfect school, and dumped into implies how he or she was put into some
Okay.
unknown place, that like other than his
Okay.
perfect school.
So here, so here, when we say when we say plucked, that means, okay, Asher, would you like to, what's your opinion?
So the writer uses the word pluck from my perfect school and dumped into the unknown to show that the person who's writing the sentence was removed for whatever reason from the school that they liked, and they were put into a completely different school which they don't know anything about and they don't
Yes.
like it.
Removed, instead of removed, we could have used the word was unwillingly. Unwillingly removed. Unwillingly, because here it shows that the person who is writing this is not willing to move out because they have used the word perfect. I was plucked from my perfect school and dumped into the unknown. Getting my point? Mahika, Asher? So,
Yeah.
unwillingly, you could have used the word, I'll write it over here, unwillingly removed from the perfect school and admitted to a completely unknown school where the writer felt unsafe, you can say, because it was unknown people. There were a lot of strangers over there. Did you get it, Asher and Mahika?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Can you guys please jot it down? No, not jot it down. Just type it here in the chat. Describe the
Oh,
effects created by writer in this particular sentence. Sentence 3.
the third one.
Yeah, of course.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, beta.
Can I send it?
Yes, just a second. Just we'll wait for a moment. We'll wait for a minute more. Hello, Pragna. Okay, Pragna has joined now. Admit. Okay, you can go ahead. This sentence talks about how she was unwillingly taken out. No. Unwilling. The writer uses the word plucked to show that they were forcefully removed from the school that they really liked and knew well and admitted into a new school which they did not which they didn't know anything about. So please start with the sentence the writer uses the word plucked. The writer uses this word so and so. Okay, what Mahika has written. This sentence talks about how she was unwillingly taken out. No, you have to start with the word. You are not following the rule, Mahika. Identify the word, connect the word to the sentence, describe word separately.
No, I explain the word after I do
No,
the
you
first
start with this
sentence.
sentence. The writer uses the word so and so to create that sentence because here you are trying to explain writer's effect. And the phrase
Mm.
dumped into implies how the student was put into a school which he or she is not familiar with. You can rephrase it into that format. Okay. I hope you have understood what you are expected to write. Hello, Pragna.
Uh,
Yeah. So we had start. We had
Ma'am?
started. Hello. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Hello, beta. We have started with
Ma'am, I
writers.
got late, ma'am.
No, no, not an issue. We have started with writer's effect. Okay. So I would want we are just doing this particular exercise in the class. So fourth one, the substitute teacher snarled at the student. Now here I'm not going to give you any hint before you do. You have to do it all on your own, all three of you. Mahika, Pragna, and Asha.
Do I need to type it?
Yes, just type it and keep it ready. The moment I say go, you guys will post it.
Okay. Ma'am, can you just quickly tell me what to do?
Mm, we
Ma'am?
just started with writer's effect, beta. We started with writer's effect and we completed how to write a writer's effect. Don't worry,
Oh,
just try to follow up with what I'm doing right now from here onwards. I will try to upload this video. After editing, of course, it will take a little while, but yes, it will be uploaded on the classroom, on the this thing, but not very soon. It will be uploaded a little late.
okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Aisha, go ahead. Okay.
Can I write the next sentence?
Yes, please. The phrase snarled at describes how the substitute teacher was furious and annoyed at the students. The writer uses the word snarl. Please start like this, Mahika. I gave you an example before. You have to start with the writer uses the verb, the word, the adjective, whatever. If nothing,
Okay.
just write down the word. To show
Okay.
that the substitute teacher made an angry sound in the direction of the student. Okay. Instead of, yeah. What do you mean by the word snarled?
Like to get mad and annoyed.
Yeah. In what form?
Can you repeat?
Snarled. Snarled in what form? If you're getting mad and annoyed, how?
Like by making facial expressions.
No, by making a
Or do
like
you just
Mahika, this
uh-huh.
is not how you should do it. This is still better way of doing things. But if I'm yelling at you like snarl means in a very bad, nasty sound. Go get your work done. Like very loudly, I'm saying you something. I'm snarling at you.
Okay.
Something which is very, it's not very pleasant to hear the way it is said. So,
Ma'am,
yes,
can I rejoin? My internet connection is low.
yes, please, you can. So when I say snarled, snarled is something when a person is making a nasty sound when that person is angry towards somebody, to someone. So the phrase, instead of writing the phrase, you should have written the writer uses the word snarled to express the feeling of anger represented through the annoying sound made by the teacher towards the students.
Okay.
Did you guys get it? Asher is still good, not bad, but I would request you to focus on the third point for Asher. Describe words separate and then its relation to the sentence. Of course, you will first describe what snarled means and then describe what it means with respect to the sentence. Clear?
Yeah.
Next one. Please start, both of you. Mahika and Asher.
Ma'am, are you able to hear me properly?
Yes.
Ma'am, now what we should do, ma'am?
Okay, you have to
The
answer
fifth
fifth
sentence.
sentence.
Okay.
Done? Did you finish, both of you? All three of you, Pragna, you also?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Almost done.
Okay, just straight away post here the moment you guys are done.
Yes, ma'am.
I sent it.
Okay. What about you? Mahika, are you done?
Yeah, I'm just there is a typo. I'm just I'll send it right now.
As a visual imagery to show and express the surrounding of the person referred to as he was in process. Very good. What about you, Pragna?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. I'm sending.
To show that the person referred to he in the line is entirely submerged in darkness.
And
The,
that is correct,
the
right?
writers. Okay, so let me start with Pragna. So, first point, Pragna, you have to always start with the writer uses the word. Here, the word is envelope. Uses the word. And why he? He is not a powerful word over here. You have to talk about the
Oh,
powerful word, which is a powerful word in the sentence enveloped. So envelope
enveloped.
that
Okay, ma'am.
in the line is entirely submerged. Okay, that is one. Let me then go back to. Okay, just read others. Ashers. The writer uses the word envelope, which means surrounded by, to show that the person referred to as he in the sentence is completely engulfed in the darkness. Very good. And the best one is Mahika's. The writer uses the phrase enveloped in the darkness as a visual imagery, very good, to show and express that the surrounding of the person referred to as he was enclosed with stillness and darkness. So she has talked about something, some effect that the writer is trying to create, that is visual imagery to show as well as express. So first you have to identify the word, connect the word to the sentence. When you're describing, describe the word separately and its relation to the sentence as well. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all three of you.
Yeah.
Has writer's effect got a little easier now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. So these are few answers already written. Mr. Rogers launched himself towards the complaint department. The writer uses the verb launched, creates an image of character's anger, and it's clear that he is making his way towards a complaint department in an aggressive and forceful manner. I was plucked from my perfect school and dumped into the unknown. The writer use of the verb plucked creates an image of the character okay, reluctantly being taken from their ideal school. It's, it's also as if the character now feels vulnerable and uncomfortable in the new surroundings. Okay, remember these words. These words help you to describe your the effect created by the writers even more better. The substitute teacher snarled at the student. The writer use of the verb snarled creates an image of the teacher being both hostile and animalistic. It's clear that the writer is trying to highlight teacher's unwelcoming aura. Of, so here what is the answer given? That the teacher is showing as if she she's unwelcoming basically, and most of you, I think Asher's was the best in this one. The writer's use of the word enveloped creates an imagery of the character feeling a sense of isolation. The fact that the darkness surrounds them makes it seem foreboding and inescapable. Perhaps danger is lurking. So there is something, this particular sentence, if you can phrase, if you guys can add in whatever you wrote, that would enhance the effect that you guys are trying to create with whatever you are writing. Okay, all right. So the next is explicit and implicit ideas. And now this particular part I had already talked about in the lessons. How many of you have viewed that lesson? Explicit and implicit. Let me see, I
Yes.
get a record of how many of you have viewed. Achievers. Have I uploaded that part in your or Cambridge Secondary Checkpoint? Let me see first.
Ma'am, no, mommy, I've not uploaded it.
Yeah, that is not for you guys. I will be so this is a basic version of, you should understand what is explicit and what does implicit mean. So what do you mean by explicit?
Um,
Hmm?
get it?
What do you
Ma'am,
mean by,
ma'am, explicit means that it is directed. There is no hidden meanings to it. It's just straightforward. You're telling.
very good. And implicit means the suggested ideas from a writer's use of language. For example, in the previous questions, in the previous sentences, snarled, envelope. So you're able to describe something which is not directly written in the sentence. Instead, you are able to elaborate on the effect that the writer is trying to create. Okay? Now, the student carefully scanned their Romeo and Juliet revision notes, which were plastered all over the wall. What explicit ideas do we learn? There's a student. 1. They have studied Romeo and Juliet. 2. They are revising Romeo and Juliet. 3. They have revision notes covering their wall. So there are 4 explicit ideas that we have learned from this particular sentence, very clearly stated. Do you guys follow with what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, what are the implicit ideas over here? The students carefully scanned. Carefully scanned means they are diligent, studious, or hardworking, or sincere, which were plastered all over. Plastered means they really wanted to do well, and they have put in a lot of effort into preparing for their exam. So these are implicit ideas given out by this sentence, which are not directly stated, but using the words in the sentence carefully scanned and plastered, that is what the writer is trying to imply. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, so here until this part will stop, I will be sharing explicit and implicit ideas right away for all of you. Please go through that as well, and then we'll stop the class over here for today. We will continue, not from writer's effect. We'll complete writer's effect this week only. We will be moving on to the next part, that is writing article, letters, argumenting. So more of hands-on learning in the power class. Okay,
Okay.
all right. Okay, just a second.
Ma'am, how many people are in this power class, ma'am?
Technically 10, Just a second, just a second. Just give me a moment.